So it's been a while since I put out some content, and the reason why is because I didn't want to constantly continue making videos that uh, didn't seem like I was making any progress. But then again, if you're not earning, you should be learning, right? And so I still should have put out content, but I thought that this was a great video to put out and in front of you guys today because I went through an experience, and it's crazy because it's months since I posted my last video and I still have not closed a deal. Partially is because I got a little bit of demotivated, excuse me, and I didn't really feel like doing it anymore, just because I felt like, yeah, it's not as easy as people are saying. It's not what I think it is, and it's very hard. Like, I've said that in previous videos, but it's really, really hard. It's not easy. Some people just luck up and just get their first deal, and then they're able to kind of scale it out from there. But for me, getting my first deal has probably not been that great. The journey is definitely a learning curve, but it's not been that great for me. So I'm not gonna babble on. I'm gonna tell you about today. Today I almost had a deal, right? I thought I had a deal and it just kind of fell completely apart. So I I ended up putting out my mailers, which I normally do when I look at houses and I'm driving for dollars and I see houses that are abandoned. I'll also take the address of that house, I'll skip trace the house, and I'll find the owner and I'll try to call and reach him that way. I do it twice because sometimes, I've got responses off the mailers, and I've skipped trace people and I've got responses that way as well. I just feel like the more you hit them with, the more chances you have to kind of have that work for you, right? So I did that. The lady ended up calling me off the mailer like the next day. So I told her, I just kind of figured out her situation. It was a house that she inherited. She was paying the property tax on the house, which, ended up being like 6,000 or something. And she didn't tell me that until the actual day. Scheduled it out 2 days later from the conversation that we had on Monday. We chatted on Monday. We had a meeting today, which is Wednesday. So I was just trying to figure out her pain points. Like, she really wasn't living in the house. She couldn't really afford the house. That's what it was. So to keep up the house and the maintenance, she couldn't really afford. So I did a little research. I checked it on the city site. I saw exactly what the city assessed the property for, which was $49K. Then I did the comps of the property, which kind of bottom out to about 44, 43,000. So, I'm like, okay, this is in tip top shape. So I said, okay, going into it, I knew I was going to just probably try to hit her with the 8, and then try to maximum allowable offer would be 10. So I get there, I get there, I do the walkthrough. The house had a lot of potential. This is probably what pissed me off the most about not really getting this house, is because it had a lot of potential. Like, it was a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, but upstairs, for some reason, I don't know why they had it this way, but it was a wall. These walls were knocked down, and you could see the structure where you could have added additional 3 bedrooms. So now, a lot of investors are going into like the Airbnbs, and they're also going into like boarding rooms. They do that really big in like Chicago and California. They have that really, really big. So I'm like, okay, I'm in the Wisconsin market. So I was just thinking, okay, this would be awesome because you already have 4 rooms, right? And you can add an additional 3 rooms to that house. So I was just like, okay, okay, you can add, altogether 7 rooms, 2 bathrooms. You can make this a boarding house and charge $375. As an investor, you can charge $375 per room. So I'm just getting everything together in my head. I'm like, damn, this is this is gonna yield some money, right? So anyways, we get to the table, and I'm talking to the lady. Hey, do you know how much the market value for this house is worth? No, she knows nothing, right? So I said, okay, the market value for the house is, I went below. I said it's about 38, 40,000, right? And I'm like, that's fixed up, and that's in good condition. There's some things that need to be taken care of in this house, which it did. It needed new, the electrical needed to be done in the house. There was no heat in the house. the water was turned off. All that stuff was not working inside the house. So obviously I'm going through a cold house. And you can see I'm kind of bundled up. It is 22 degrees here. And earlier it was a little bit colder. So it was more so around probably like 16 degrees. And you're walking through, you're doing a walkthrough in an extremely cold house. So you try to hurry up, do it quick, right? So I ended up offering her, 8. She agreed to the 8. I said, okay. I previously wrote up 2 contracts. I'll go back to the car. I get both contracts, right? I come back in the house. She says, oh, no, I want, I really, me and my kids are trying to move. We're homeless, blah, 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 blah. I don't know what the situation was, but basically she had the house, but I don't think she could afford the house or she can keep the house because the house didn't even have electricity. So she's trying to struggle to pay the back taxes on the house. In the meantime, not trying to lose the house. So then she tells me, the house is paid off, and then we're talking, and there's $6,000 in back taxes on the house. So then she starts pulling my leg, and she tells me, because I have somebody in the family that wants to buy the house now for $10,000, cash. And I was just like, okay, well, if they wanted to buy it for $10,000 cash, why did you call me? Yeah. So then we go from that point to, I want cash for it. I said, I can do cash. She said, I can get you a check. Oh, that check's going to bounce. And why would the check bounce? So I don't know. This lady went on like a whole tangent. I'm trying to explain to her the contract, going over, okay, you're the seller, I'm the buyer. This is your address, correct? Correct. This is a single family house, correct. Legal description, correct. So I'm just going over the contract with her because she's like, at this point, she's telling me she's not signing. And once she signs on the dotted line, she wants the $10,000. And I said, ma'am, how does that work? I need to run this through an attorney or a title company to make sure that this title, everything is on the up and up. So, she didn't understand that. And I'm trying to break this down to this lady so many different ways. And then she starts to get loud and obnoxious. And I'm like, what the hell did I just walk into? Right? So I don't know if this lady was like bipolar. I went from like, wow, I've never got this far with a seller, to like, oh my gosh, I did everything right and I'm getting ready to close my first deal, right? To, no, it's not closing. This lady is like snapping out and she's getting loud at this point. She's not cursing, but she was like, she did curse, but it wasn't like at me. She was just like, I'm not signing an effing contract if I don't have any money and this is that. I'm like, and then she wants to tell me about a car, if you, she uses the metaphor as a car. Well, if you go buy a car and you sign on that line, you're going to get the car and blah, blah. No, you're not. I'm like, lady, this is the worst metaphor to use because I sell cars. So I say, lady, the first thing you do when you're signing off, you use your signature, to release for a credit check to even see if you have enough, if your credit is good enough to even get the car. So yeah, you're signing off on something before you even get something. So she was just trying to tell me, I'm not going to do this. And I'm just like, why did this go this way? So all this to say, I ended up down. I was a little confused after I left. I was like, what the hell happened, right? What the hell just happened? I was really, really confused. I just really learned that I really learned that if you're not earning, you should be learning. And at first I was just like, this is a waste of my time and I could have been doing this and I could have been doing that and I could have been driving for dollars and blah, 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 right? But I feel like I needed that. I needed all of these hiccups that I'm having along the way. And this is the one since this is the only one I've really recorded thus far. But I've had a lot of hiccups along the way of getting this first deal. But I'm going to still keep going. Excuse me. I'm going to still keep going. But I just wanted to put this out there because a lot of people show the good sides of wholesaling. A lot of people show their checks. I'm in this one group. I'm in a couple groups on Facebook where, people are just wholesaling all around the world, right? And one of the big things that they do is they'll post their checks. And when you see these checks, you're like, damn, I can do this. Especially when, sometimes my account is like, -20, 40, on up, when you're looking at these checks, you're like, okay, this is obtainable. I have a solid buyers list. I speak to my buyers. I have relationships with my buyers. But it's not like I've done anything wrong here. It's just, I guess I'm learning how to talk to people. I'm learning how to deal with different people. I'm learning how to deal with people that are bipolar. I'm learning how to deal with people that may be on a little bit of drugs. I'm learning how to deal with people that are from so many different walks of life. And you think that certain situations would be so easy, but they're not. And I'm just putting this out here, and I'm probably rambling at this point, but I'm just putting this out here to say that you're going to run into some shit. Some shit. I mean, I went into this one house and it had like fallen roaches, and I have a phobia of bugs. Like, so when you got fucking roaches falling from the ceiling and they all on the, I had literally had a panic attack. I mean, I've done so much to get to this first check and this closing that it's like, shit, I feel like giving up, but I mean, I really feel like something is gonna yield, something is gonna come about. But man, this is the ugly side of wholesaling. Like, it's not as glorious as one makes it seem, or it's not as glorious as, oh, I went out my first week driving for dollars and I got a contract, and like, hell no. Like, this, I mean, I'm happy for you guys that close deals that quick. I'm happy for you guys that really do this, but really out here actively doing it, and I'm actively doing it as well. But there is a dark side to it when you're first getting going, and this is just what it is. It's very ugly. And this actually would have been great because it is November 13th, so 30 days out would have been December 13th, which falls on my child's birthday. But also, Christmas is right around the corner from there. So I was just like, oh, this is my Christmas present to myself. But no more rambling. I'm gonna just keep fucking going. And it's really not ladylike for a woman to cuss, but I'm just gonna keep fucking going. It was definitely a hiccup along the way, but I mean, there's really no turning back. I mean, the hell I'm gonna do? Get a job? There's no. I've been self-employed for 4 years. There's no going back. But keep the faith. Know that this shit is hard, but where there's a will, there's a way. It's worth it. It's definitely worth it. I mean, I've made so many awesome connections, and I'm going to keep going, and I just encourage you guys to keep going as well. Until next time, this is Maria Wallace, and yeah, hopefully I'll be coming to you soon with the deal closed. Have a great day, guys. Take care.